Next up, at UFC 294, we have Abu Azaitar taking on Cedric Dumas. Abu Azaitar, 14-3 overall, 4-1 in his last five, but he is coming back after 2 years away. Taking on Cedric Dumas, or SD Dumas, 8-1 in his career, 4-1 in his last five. He's coming off his first UFC win. SD Dumas famously is a street fighter. He worked his way out of the streets. He's going to get himself his third fight in the UFC. And you might just assume, if you haven't watched tape or if you haven't done your research, oh, he's a street fighter. So he's just like a tough brawler that's going to strike. No, he's actually a decently technical striker and can wrestle and grapple as well. There's more than one video of him picking up people and slamming them to the ground. Decent kickboxing, solid BJJ. Overall, a decently well-rounded guy. He can be pretty powerful as well. He uses leg kicks well, he takes away your balance, and he works from there. He's coming off his first official, actually not even just official, his first UFC win in general over Cody Brundage. But I will say he was taken down very easily and was able to capitalize. I'm trying to be nice to Cody Brundage here. Was able to capitalize.
Cody Brundage was a pussy quitter.
Correct. Who pulled guillotine about 200 times in a very insanely winnable fight. But good for SD. He weathered that early grappling storm and then did what he did. He won that fight. That's his fight to win, and he won it. So good for him. You're not going to recognize the name Abu Azaitar, but this is actually his third fight in the UFC as well. He's been incredibly inactive, with his first fight being more than 2.5 years ago. He's a big guy for the weight class, pretty well-rounded, but at 37 years old, the lack of activity, he just comes forward and he brawls. He's an old school, stand there, throw a bunch of punches, try to take your head off, winging from the hips as the fight goes on kind of guy. He's insanely tough. He is going to march forward. And if you watch that fight against Marc-Andre Barrault, which was his last fight 2 years ago, it was not the prettiest, but he did showcase grit, a willingness to pressure, and he threw bombs. If Abu wasn't 37 years old and he didn't have such long layoffs, his brother's Otman Azaitar, if you remember that whole thing a couple of UFC Abu Dhabis ago with the bag and the climbing the balcony and all that crap. Anyway, if he was a little younger and a little more active, I would love these odds, and I would be all over it. I'm probably still going to place a bet. If you watched my quick picks video, he was a plus 145 underdog. And I said I'm going to watch the line movement tracker. I'm going to wait. And when I get better odds, I'm going to hammer it. It is still moving. He's plus 205. It was plus 145 today's Tuesday, just 3 days ago, plus 145. I think Abu will stand there toe-to-toe and bomb away against SD Dumas. His issue with the Marc-Andre Barrault fight was Marc-Andre's got cardio for days. And he slowed down. He gassed. He was just swinging wild. He's inactive. Yes, that could happen here, but the dude hits like a truck. He's going to come forward. He's going to be the toughest guy SD has fought just yet. He's very well-rounded, accomplished. I think I'm going to shoot my shot at the plus 205s or better. I think Abu wins this fight. No offense to SD. I think this is they're doing him somewhat of a favor from the inactivity and the age, but this is not Josh Freeman. This is not Josh Freeman. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, I think that SD Dumas is better than people give him credit for. Not only is he better than people give him credit for, I think he's improving. I think he's one of those people, almost like a Sean O'Malley, and I'm not saying he's on that level, but has just kind of convinced in the demeanor around him. You see a guy like this, and he's smoking the weed and stuff, and you're like, oh, this guy doesn't work hard. And I think that was kind of the aura around Sean O'Malley. Like, this guy isn't working. He doesn't take it serious, right? He makes all these stupid videos and stuff. And I think SD Dumas is one of those guys that secretly is really a gym rat. You kind of saw that in the difference between the grappling in the Frem fight and the grappling in the Cody Brundage fight. And I know Cody kind of went to his back and kind of gave up in those positions, but you still saw the control and the way that he was moving. You even heard DC talking about during that fight, like, wow, he looks like he's really kind of improved. And SD Dumas is a guy that when he came into the UFC, he said, listen, I know I don't know it all yet. I know there's going to be moments where I'm getting taken down and I'm put on my back, but I'm going to get back to my feet. I will get back to my feet. It might take me a little bit, but I will get back to my feet. And you actually kind of saw that in the Frem fight. He was taken down. He was controlled. But right before he was submitted in that fight, he nearly got Frem's back. He nearly out-scrambled Frem to get his back. He fell over the top, and then he found himself in a submission. But I think he's a guy that is working harder than a lot of people think, and I think that this is a perfect matchup to really showcase his skill set because because, as you mentioned, Abu is a guy that is a brawler. I mean, you summed it up perfectly. He wants to move forward, hands low, get you against the fence, get dirty, hold you there. And I agree. If he was more active, and I knew that he could do that for 3 rounds, this is a good fight for Abu, because SD is not like a super strong guy. If you get him against the fence, you probably can't hold him there. But Abu having 1 fight in the last 5 years, and in that fight, you saw him really start to slow down. Now he's 37 years old. I think there might be a situation where he comes in, kind of controls SD a little bit in that first round, holds him against the fence, but then he's just going to start to fade. And I like SD at range, and I think he really can find the chin on this guy Abu. So I'm a little bit higher on probably most people than SD. It's probably one of those spots where you just see all these 400 favorites, and you see SD there, and he was like minus 175. Now at like, what was it, minus 230, something like that. He's probably a little bit priced out at this point.
194 if you go to bet openly.
Yeah, he's probably a little bit priced out at this point, but I think that this is a nice showcase for him. And if he is who he's supposed to be, he should kind of smoke a guy like Abu, who isn't super technical with the striking. His chin's going to be there. So I'm SD here, and I have a little bit of action. I hedged it a little bit, but a little bit of action on SD.
Yeah, I mean, this actually should be a fun fight. And SD, maybe I've still got a little pent-up aggression from when Josh Freem beat him, because we all thought he was going to smoke Josh Freem, and then Josh Freem beat him, and then Josh went through every single tweet anybody ever made, like, do more research, and then he went out and got his ass kicked. Guy sucks. Anyway, you and I are split here, but I think you get where I'm coming from. I am on the Abu side. No bet yet. I am going to watch that line, and if it continues to widen, I'll hop on it. And to watch the line, I'm going to use the line movement tracker. It's a tool exclusive to premium members that gives you the opening odds, the current odds, the win probability, and the line movement in a percentage for every single fighter on every single card. That and so much more is available for only $10 a month at WeWantPicks.com. Speaking of $10, here's a full month of premium. Monty Handal says, what's going on, fellas? Let's make this bread this weekend. And shout out to Jacob. Lock of the week, a little bit of champagne, smiley face with the green tongue, and Angelo with 2 O's. Thank you very much,
Angelo.
Monty.
Angelo.
My man,
Appreciate
Monty.
that, Monty.
I don't see Monty spelled that way quite often. One of my good friends is Monty, but it's like Joe Montanaro.
Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Best movie ever made.
I don't watch those English movies.
You've never seen
well,
Monty
now
Python?
I know why you love. Now we know why you love that crap so much.
Well, yeah, I mean, I grew up watching
99%.
Monty Python and the Holy Grail and all the Monty Pythons, the Fawlty Towers and Bean, and I mean all that stuff. It's fucking hilarious.
Bean. I do like. I'm a big Ricky Gervais guy. I've watched everything he's ever done. I love all of it. And then same with who's that long, gangly partner of his, Stephen Merchant. That guy's fantastic too.